Jack and Jill is a popular nursery rhyme, which goes back to the 18th century. But what is its meaning? And like many other rhymes, does it represent anything gruesome or dark? The rhyme is often seen as nonsensical, and there seems not to be any real point to it other than a vague cautionary meaning about potentially breaking one's crown whilst running an errand up a hill. While some parts, like using vinegar and brown paper to mend one's head, sounds nonsensical, this was a practice to draw out bruises from the body at the time. What is clear to historians is that explanations aren't as simple as one might think. Jack and Jill has been used since the 16th century as a reference to male and female. Shakespeare even used this in A Midsummer Night's Dream and other plays, and it was used in popular proverbs such as a good Jack makes a good Jill. One of the most popular explanations is that it refers to King Louis XVI of France and Marie Antoinette, who lost their heads in the midst of the French Revolution. Jack breaking his crown following his fall, as mirroring being beheaded and losing his crown, also gives credibility to this explanation. Louis XVI was first captured after attempting to flee his palace, after falling from real power, sentenced and executed first, with Marie Antoinette following. The issue with this theory is that the rhyme itself predates the execution of the French king and queen, and goes back to 1765, nearly 30 years earlier, when it was published in London, making it clear that the original meaning was something different. It was particularly in a romantic context that Jack and Jill was also used, from which some references suggest that this refers to an illicit romance, where two lovers ran away together to the anger of their families or village, as a message about affairs outside of marriage and the potential outcomes this may create. There are also specific examples related to a non-married man-woman context, such as from 1697 in Somerset, when an unmarried spinster died from childbirth shortly after the father of her child died from a rockfall, which is seen as one origin of the rhyme. There are even some theories, given that the first printed version represents two boys instead of a boy and a girl, completely contradicting Jack and Jill's common usage, that this was about two priests, as one theory from the 1830s suggested, who may also have lost their heads. However, the most likely explanation, if it wasn't also used at different times as a reference to all of these things, goes back to the reign of Charles I of England in the 17th century, in a less dramatic meaning, when in order to increase taxes, he proposed a reform on liquid measures to Parliament, which was to increase the tax on liquids, which was knocked back. He then, in order to ensure higher taxes, instead reduced the volume of a half-pint, called a jack, whilst keeping the tax the same, and also reduced by extension the volume of a quarter-pint, which was called a gill. Whether the rhyme refers to this adjustment of liquid measures to specific historical events of people in high power losing their heads, or to the common usage of Jack and Jill to describe both genders, it is not known, or whether it was used at times as a common mixture of each, either deliberately, as a very clever rhyme, or merely coincidentally. It remains still a popular nursery rhyme to this day. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to be updated with new videos.